My child, become quiet for a moment and hear what your heart has understood for a long while. You were never created to move through this life, believing you are lost or forgotten. Each morning you wake carrying concerns you rarely speak about. Silent fears, exhausted thoughts. I know every one, and today I am answering them. Something inside you will begin to change while you hear these words. Not because these words are special, but because I am present in them. I have watched you long enough. Now I am speaking, and I need you to listen carefully. Have you noticed the uneasiness lately? That feeling that something is coming to an end. That strange discomfort in places that once felt familiar. You have asked yourself whether something is wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. Your spirit has sensed what your mind has not understood yet. I am moving you. The place where you have been is not the place where you are going. What you have known is not what I have prepared. The season is changing, and that change begins now as you hear my voice. This is more than a small change. Your whole life is being lifted from one kind of ground and placed into another. Do not be afraid of the word moving. I never uproot you to hurt you. I uproot so I can plant you. A vine growing in shallow ground cannot produce the fruit it was created to bear. So the keeper of the vineyard lifts it with its roots and places it in soil deep enough for its future. This is what I am doing with you. The shaking you have experienced is not destruction. It is my hands holding your roots. Think about a caterpillar hidden inside a dark cocoon. From the outside, it seems that nothing is taking place. Everything looks still. Everything looks finished. Yet inside, a complete transformation is happening. That has been your life during this past season. The quiet was not emptiness. Work was happening where you could not see it. You are not coming apart. You are being formed again in a different way, piece by piece, in a way that will eventually make complete sense to you. I waste no season. I waste no silence. Even the days that appeared empty were accomplishing something. I know your heart has felt heavy. You have carried worry like a rock inside your chest. You woke with it and went to sleep while it was still there. Listen to me now. Fear will not speak the final word over your story. I will, and what I speak over you is good. You were not created accidentally. You were formed carefully with a purpose that belongs only to you. There is a light inside you meant to reach people farther than you can imagine. For a time it has been covered. It will not remain covered. Part of this movement is my hand removing that covering. Imagine a tree growing beside a running river. The heat comes down. Dry seasons arrive, yet the tree does not dry up because its roots drink from a supply that does not end. That is the life I created for you. Remain connected to me, and you will produce fruit in the right season, while no drought can destroy what I sustain. A tree like this does not become afraid when strong wind comes. Its branches move, its leaves tremble, but it remains standing because what supports it is underground, where the storm cannot reach. Your strength is like that too. Other people notice your smile, and how you continue showing up. I see what supports you in the hidden places deep within, and I am the one supporting it. So when you feel there is nothing left inside you to give, remember the source of your strength. It was never only your exhausted arms. It was never your tired spirit forcing itself through another day. It is me beneath you, nearer than the breath you are about to take. When doubt enters during the silent hours of night, hold tightly to what you already know is true. I brought you this far. I am not putting you down now. Take one breath while you listen. Allow your shoulders to relax. You are not walking through this alone, and you are not behind. Everything facing you has already been measured, and none of it is greater than the one walking beside you. Success in your future is not still being decided. It is a decision I have already made. Some things do not change, and I am one of those things. The promises I spoke over your life remain as firm today as when I first spoke them. So continue walking. Move forward courageously because wisdom much greater than yours is guiding every step. I am taking you toward a place of peace and abundance. even during the days when the road does not make sense to you. Whatever tomorrow brings, you do not have to fear it. The road has already been prepared before your first step reaches it. No trouble that comes against you is stronger than the love surrounding you. My peace covers you like a shelter, and my light moves before you through the darkest part of the road. You will not be abandoned. You will not be forgotten. Your greatest strength while entering this new season is knowing just how deeply you are loved. Not loved generally from far away as simply one person among many. Loved personally, loved intentionally, loved by a love that chose you and has never turned its eyes away. That is why I came to speak with you today, before this day is finished. The movement has already started, and I did not want you entering it without understanding. I wanted you to hear this directly from me. Where you have lived is not where you are going. Receive this truth and allow it to settle within you. Declare your amen. Now, if your heart is ready to receive this message, before I reveal where you are going, let me remind you how I have protected you. Think about a shepherd walking with his flock. He does not guide them from far away. He walks among them. He sees which sheep is hurting, which one wandered too close to danger, and which one is simply exhausted and needs to be carried for some time. This is how I have cared for you. To me, you were never simply another face among many. I noticed you personally, guided you directly, and waited patiently for you. Even when you wandered, even when you followed slowly, even when you needed carrying more often than you want to admit, I led you toward green fields. I brought you beside peaceful waters. When you entered the deepest valleys, I did not send assistance from somewhere far away. I entered the valley myself and walked beside you. This has remained true in every season, even the seasons when you felt absolutely nothing. Now listen, because this matters for where I am moving you. You cannot bring every old burden into your new home. You were never created to drag the weight of your past forever. Old pain, old guilt, memories that burden you more than they teach you. I dealt with them a long time ago. That matter is finished. Imagine yourself walking beside the shore, carrying a heavy sack over your shoulder, filled with stones gathered during your journey. Every stone represents a mistake, every stone a regret, every stone something you wish you could undo. Each step becomes harder, because you are carrying all that weight. Now imagine putting the sack beside the water, and watching the tide carry it farther away, until you can no longer see it. That is what my forgiveness does. It does not simply reduce the burden. It takes the burden away. As distant as east is from west, that is how far I have removed your failures from you. You no longer need to explain yourself to people determined to remind you of the person you once were. Those who keep judging what has already been buried are often avoiding what is inside their own hearts. Do not allow their words to decide how you see yourself. I have spoken concerning you, and my voice stands above theirs. There will be days when familiar struggles return with different faces, trying again to exhaust you. When this happens, do not escape into noise or distractions. Come directly to me. Become quiet. Allow your heart to speak honestly about what it carries. Then allow me to answer you. That is where your strength is restored. And do not allow fear about provision to steal away your peace. Look behind you for a moment. Remember those times when you could not understand how you would make it through. The bill you could not cover. The news that made you afraid. The door that appeared permanently closed. Yet you are still here. More than once, a way appeared that you had never planned. Those moments were not accidents. That was me. That same faithfulness is not only part of your past. It is already waiting ahead of you. It is working in places your feet have not reached. What I have done before I will do again. And I will do even more. I remind you because trust is the road you must travel during this next season. Not complete certainty, but trust. You will not always be able to see the entire path. I never reveal every step at once, because I am doing more than taking you toward a destination. I am forming a person. That formation happens while you walk. There is strength inside you that has not yet been needed. There are reserves you will not know you possess until a day arrives that requires them. You have survived every difficult day you have ever faced. Every single one. That is not a small history. It is evidence of the one who stayed beside you. And whatever you fear about tomorrow, understand something. You are looking at tomorrow while carrying only the strength I gave you for today. That is why tomorrow can seem impossible. I do not hand you tomorrow's strength today. I give it when tomorrow arrives in full measure and at the right moment. I have never been late with it. You have also spent many years hoping someone would notice your work, waiting for praise that did not come, waiting for recognition that always seemed to reach somebody else. Hear me. None of the work you did quietly escaped my sight. The early mornings that nobody saw. The moments you helped another person and never told anyone. Every part is recorded with me, and every part matters. Think about a gardener caring for a plant hidden in a forgotten part of the garden. Nobody applauds the watering, the pulling of weeds, or the patient months when nothing seems to be changing. Then one day the plant flowers, and suddenly everyone sees the bloom without knowing about the long years of quiet care behind it. You have been that gardener. Your flowering is coming. Some people never understood how much weight you carried. They saw what was outside and assumed everything was fine, because you kept smiling. That is not something wrong with you. It shows how strong you were required to become. But during this new season, you do not need to pretend anymore. You are allowed to speak honestly about what hurts. Honesty opens a door, and healing enters through it. So put the burden down. Allow me to carry what you have been carrying. You have carried enough during one season, and the next season does not need that weight. It needs empty hands, an open heart, and a willingness to move whenever I tell you to walk. I am about to tell you the places I am taking you from and the places where I am taking you. 7 movements, 7 transfers from old territory into new territory. Every one carries my signature, and every one has already begun over your life. Remain with me because you need to hear all 7. Say, I believe, where you are. If these words are touching your spirit, this is the first movement. I am taking you from scarcity into abundance. You have remained in the land of not enough for too many years. It became familiar enough that you started thinking of it as home. You learned to expect shortage, prepare yourself for lack, and reduce your hopes until they fit what looked possible. That place was never your inheritance. I have kept records no earthly account book contains. Every seed you planted through faith, every portion you released when logic told you to keep it. Every moment you blessed somebody while you were also lacking, none of it disappeared. Every part was counted, and all of it has continued growing toward harvest. But listen carefully. A harvest cannot be received by a heart that continues living in lack. So I am not simply increasing what sits in your hands. I am changing where you live. I am bringing you out of the place of barely getting through, and into the land where there is more than enough. Abundance will not be somewhere you visit from time to time. It will become where you dwell. I will provide every need according to my riches, not according to your income and not according to the economy people depend on, but according to the riches of my glory. That is the standard. Watch closely. Provision will begin reaching you from places that make little sense on paper. Doors you never knocked upon will open, and you will realize the ground beneath you has changed. There is something you must do within this movement, and it is the same thing faithful servants of old have always done. Faith that remains only inside the heart and never moves into the hands is simply a feeling. Trust becomes real when expressing it requires something from you. My child, I am asking you to place a portion of what you have, something of real weight, upon the altar of this work, as gold laid on the scales of this calling. Let it be a seed sown into deep water, an offering set on stone, not held back in fear. This is proof that your trust rests in my hand to provide, and that your heart no longer clings to lack. What you release in faith does not leave your life. It moves ahead of you into the harvest I am preparing. Remember the widow who offered 2 little coins. Others gave from what they had left over and hardly felt the cost. She gave while she was in need, and I have allowed her story to be remembered through every generation. I was never measuring how large the gift was. I was measuring the trust carried inside it. A seed kept forever in the hand of the sower remains only a seed. Once placed into soil, it can become a field. Now listen to the second movement. I am taking you from rejection into acceptance. You have remained far too long inside the house rejection built around you. Rejection from relatives who should have celebrated you. Rejection from friends who should have remained beside you. Rejection from opportunities that should have opened when you came. Every rejection placed another brick until the feeling of being unwanted became a wall around you. You even learned how to make some of those walls feel comfortable. You told yourself that being alone was what you preferred. You convinced yourself that nobody's welcome mattered. I know what is true, and so do you. The pain of being left outside never completely disappeared. It changed how you walk into rooms. It changed how quickly you expect others to leave you. But rejection was only somewhere you lived for a season. It was never your identity. And now I am bringing you out. My own son experienced rejection fully. He was despised and refused by the people he came to save. He was taken outside the city, so that you could be welcomed inside the family. Your acceptance was completely paid for, and I do not pay the price for something I have no intention of claiming. So those walls are falling. I am bringing you into belonging. People with no earthly reason to welcome you will receive you. Places once closed before you will open as you arrive. A community you never thought would have room for you will make room. And little by little, the fear inside you will soften, because your heart will begin understanding the new place where it lives. You will recognize that this movement is complete when past rejection no longer hurts in the same way. When you remember those who turned you away without feeling your chest become tight. When you stop repeating in your mind the arguments you never had the chance to say. This freedom belongs to your inheritance. I do more than change what surrounds you. I heal what your former circumstances did within you. Accept one another, I have said, in the same way my son accepted you. Notice which came first. He received you before you fixed yourself, before you had proven anything. Your acceptance was never payment for something you achieved. It was my decision. Now I am simply bringing your everyday experience into agreement with what has always been true inside my heart. Understand something else about these two movements. The movement away from scarcity and the movement away from rejection belong together. Someone who believes they are unwanted will also believe they should expect very little. Once you understand how welcome you truly are, you will stop feeling ashamed for hoping. You will ask for greater things because sons and daughters ask differently from strangers. Lift your head now. The country of not enough is behind you. The house where you felt unwanted is behind you. Even now, you are walking toward open doors and a prepared table. I made both ready before you even knew you would desire them. 5 more movements remain, and each one enters another part of your life. Your thoughts, your body, your relationships, your purpose, and your timing. I am leaving no room untouched because a life moved only halfway remains divided, and I have never completed only half a work in anyone who trusts me. Stay near now. This next movement reaches the battle you have fought longer than any other, the battle inside your thoughts. The third movement is this. I am taking you from confusion into clarity. Your mind has spent too much time inside fog. Thoughts that never become still. Paths that all seem equally uncertain. Choices made while you could not see clearly have cost you years, and a few have cost relationships. You were not foolish. You simply could not see clearly, and nobody can walk straight through thick mist. I am not the source of that confusion. I never have been. I am a God of peace, and peace is the atmosphere of the place where I am taking your mind. Even while you listen, the fog is beginning to rise. Voices of lies that disturbed your thinking are becoming quiet. Distractions that divided your attention are being moved from the road. Within days, something you have struggled to understand will suddenly become clear. A choice that has carried weight in your mind will become simple. A direction you questioned will become plain. When it happens, do not call it coincidence. It will be my hand clearing the glass, so that you can finally see what has been in front of you all along. Clarity changes more than the choices you make. It changes how you rest. A peaceful mind lies down at night and truly sleeps. A peaceful mind can hear my voice without struggling, because 100 competing fears are no longer speaking over it. This quietness inside your thoughts belongs to your inheritance, and I am placing it before you now. The fourth movement reaches your body. I am taking you from sickness into health. Your body has remained too long in a condition it was never created to call home. Pain became so common that you stopped talking about it. Tiredness became something you arranged your days around, and limits became roommates you assumed would never leave. Listen to my word concerning your body. I am the Lord who heals you. Not one who may heal someday. Not one who could heal if everything became favorable. I heal, present and active. I formed your body in the beginning, and I have never forgotten how I made it. So watch for what starts changing. Pain that stayed constantly will begin releasing its hold. Strength you thought was gone will start returning in the morning. Things that were getting worse will steady, and things already steady will improve. Some will happen through proper rest and wise choices. Some through skilled healers I place along your road. And some may have no explanation, because I remain free to work in ways people cannot trace. Your youth will be renewed like the eagles. Those words are not only poetry meant for somebody else. They are a promise that includes you. Take care of the body I entrusted to you. Respect its limits without allowing those limits to become your master. And place what you cannot control into my hands. Health is the direction where I am leading you. Let your expectation move there before your symptoms do. Now comes the fifth movement, and listen carefully because it enters the loneliest room of your life. I am taking you from isolation into connection. You have felt lonely while people surrounded you, unseen while standing in crowded places, and disconnected even while relationships were around you. That isolation was never natural for your spirit. It became a strategy used against you. The enemy of your soul has always understood one simple thing. When you are alone, discouraging you becomes easier. Alone, no one answers your doubts and nobody challenges your fears. So he tried to separate you and convince you that nobody could understand. That asking for support showed weakness. That being alone meant being safe. It was a prison painted to resemble protection. I am pulling that prison down. I place lonely people into families. This has always been my pattern, and it has not changed. Even now, I am drawing people toward your life. People who understand without requiring long explanations. People who were being prepared for you during the same years I was preparing you for them. People who will walk the road with you, not simply stand nearby and watch. Two people are better than one because if one falls, the other can help them rise. You have fallen too many times with nobody nearby to reach down. That season is ending. A knock will come. A conversation will begin, a relationship will form, and something about it will feel unexpectedly like home. When that moment arrives, do not withdraw because of old habits. Open the door. It will be me meeting you through the face of a friend. And connection will also require something from you. You must allow yourself to be truly known, instead of only being observed from a safe distance. You will need to admit, at least to a few trustworthy people, that you do not have everything together. That honesty does not represent failure. It is the gate you pass through while leaving loneliness, and its cost is much smaller than what isolation has already cost you. There is a reason I am moving your provision, your heart, your thoughts, your body, and your relationships during one season. These are not separate buildings. They support one another. A clear mind protects a healing body. A faithful friend steadies a heart learning to hope. Abundance that is shared strengthens the relationships holding you up. I am not repairing one wall. I am rebuilding the entire house. Pause and remember what I have named until now. From scarcity into abundance. From rejection into acceptance. From confusion into clarity. From sickness into health. From isolation into connection. 5 movements already taking place. None are waiting for you to become perfect. They require only your willingness to keep moving forward instead of looking behind. Perhaps you are wondering why now? Why would so many things begin moving together after all these years? Because seasons belong to me, and I do not ask human calendars for permission. A tree does not bargain with spring. When its appointed season arrives, the life inside begins rising, and nothing winter did can prevent it. Your appointed season has come. This is why you became restless. This is why places that once fit began feeling too small. 2 movements are still left, and they reach deeper than the first 5. One concerns the way others see you. The other concerns the moment you have waited for longer than any other. Come closer now because I kept these 2 until the end intentionally. The 6th movement is this. I am bringing you from obscurity into visibility. You have remained hidden, but not because you were accidentally ignored. You were hidden for a purpose. There is a difference, and you must understand it because misunderstanding that hidden season hurt you more than the season itself. Your gifts were overlooked. Other people received credit for work you did. Your voice was covered in rooms where you had something important to offer. You began believing that you did not matter. That conclusion was wrong. Treasure does not lose value simply because it is buried. Some valuable things are buried because they are valuable. I kept you hidden like a sword maker keeps metal inside the forge. Not because the sword has been forgotten, but because it is not ready yet. If I had exposed you earlier, the attention might have shaped you wrongly before your character became strong enough to carry its weight. I have seen many gifts rise faster than the souls carrying them. I loved you too deeply to allow that to become your story. But listen now, the hidden season has ended. You are the light of the world, and a city built on a hill cannot remain hidden. Nobody lights a lamp and then hides it beneath a basket. They place it where its light reaches the house. You have remained beneath the basket long enough. My hand is touching that basket, and I am raising it. Recognition will begin reaching you without you running after it. An opportunity will place you before the people who need to see you. Your voice will enter rooms you never forced your way into. And remember why this happens. It is not for your glory but for my purpose. The world needs what I placed within you, and I intend for that gift to reach it. Visibility inside my kingdom is not about pride. It is responsibility. When it comes, remain humble within your heart. The same humility that protected you while you were hidden will protect you when you are seen. Trees with weak roots cannot carry large branches. Your roots reach deep. That was the purpose of the years beneath the ground. And now comes the 7th movement, the one that holds all the others together. I am moving you from delay into destiny. You have lived beside almost for years. Almost a breakthrough, almost healing, almost the life you believed you were made to live. Everything seemed near, but nothing fully arrived. You started wondering if almost would always be your portion. It was never meant to be. The delays carried reasons. Some protected you, some prepared you, and some came from resistance against what your arrival would mean. But whatever kept the door closed, hear me now. That hold has been removed. What stood before you has been overruled. The accusations raised against your future have been closed by my own hand. I know exactly what plans I have for you. Plans meant for your good rather than your harm. Plans that carry hope and a future. Those plans are not simply an idea waiting somewhere in the distance. They are like a place already prepared and ready for you. And I am leading you into it now. Not after you become perfect. not after every condition becomes right. Now, you will notice the change before you understand how to explain it. Things that always stopped will begin moving. Efforts that always seemed to disappear will finally begin producing something lasting. The strange resistance around your steps will lift, and you will wonder why doors suddenly begin giving way. This is how it feels when you stop pushing against a delay I have already ended. Think about the potter working with clay, because it explains many years you have questioned. A potter does not hurry the wheel. Sometimes his hands push hard. Sometimes the whole vessel must be pressed down and shaped again before it can become what it was intended to be. If your life has seemed reshaped again and again, none of those movements were wasted. Every form you moved through helped prepare you for the final form you were meant to carry. The vessel is ready now. The time has come for it to be filled and used. Or think about gold placed in a furnace. Gold does not become precious by remaining untouched beneath the earth. It moves through fire, and that fire removes only what never belonged to the gold. If these recent years have felt hot, understand what the heat was accomplishing. You are not leaving this season smaller. You are coming out refined, and what remains inside you now is what can last. So let me speak all 7 movements together, so you can understand the complete work taking place. From scarcity into abundance, from rejection into acceptance, from confusion into clarity, from sickness into health, from isolation into connection, from obscurity into visibility, from delay into destiny. 7 movements, 1 work, your entire life being lifted from old soil and placed into new. None of this is payment for how well you have performed. Allow that truth to remove pressure from your shoulders. This is inheritance, not wages. You are not working hard enough to earn entrance into the new land. The one who owns it is bringing you there. Your responsibility is not perfection. Your responsibility is trust, one step after another, especially when the new soil still feels strange beneath you. And for some time, it will feel strange. Every promised land does it first. Abraham felt it when he left Haran. Israel felt it while walking through the divided sea. The fishermen felt it when they left their nets beside the shore. Unfamiliar does not automatically mean danger. It is the normal atmosphere surrounding obedience. Continue walking through it. I have named the movements. I have shown you the new ground. What remains now is actually crossing into it. And there is something about crossing that you need to understand, because this is where many travelers struggle, not when leaving, but when remembering. Speak these words, I trust you now, if you are ready to enter what I prepared. Now receive this warning as love, because love is why I give it. The enemy cannot prevent this movement. My seal rests upon it, and no power can remove what I establish. But one old strategy remains available to him, and it has worked many times. During the days ahead, he will try to make you miss the land you are leaving. He will make your memories of the old ground look better than they were. Scarcity will begin looking simple. Isolation will begin feeling safe. Familiar pain may start resembling home, while unfamiliar promise seems risky. He will whisper that perhaps the old life was not truly so bad, and perhaps the new place will not hold you. Remember Israel in the wilderness. They had been freed from slavery through powerful signs, fed with bread from heaven, and led by cloud and fire, yet they still cried for Egypt. They remembered the meals and forgot the chains. Years disappeared between leaving and arriving, not because the promise stopped being true, but because their hearts kept looking backward. Do not sacrifice years because you keep turning around. You cannot fully enter new territory, while your heart continues keeping a room in the old one. When that longing comes, because it may come, do not fight it by yourself. Bring it directly to me. Call it what it really is, a desire for what is familiar, not necessarily a desire for what is good. Familiar and good are not always the same. Much of your growth now will come from learning the difference. Understand also that you cannot see this movement from the place where I see it. Imagine standing so close to a huge painting that you only see rough lines and colors that seem to clash. Nothing appears connected. But when you move far enough away, the entire image suddenly becomes clear. You are too close to your own life to see the entire picture. I am not. From where I stand, even your most difficult seasons sit exactly where they belong. So when part of this crossing appears chaotic, do not decide too quickly what it means. You are judging individual brush marks. I am completing the painting. One day you will stand back and be amazed by how carefully every part was placed. And if part of the crossing seems completely still, do not become afraid of the silence. Winter appears empty. The earth looks closed. Branches stand bare, but beneath frozen ground roots continue drinking and new buds develop where nobody sees. Winter is never truly doing nothing. If you are entering a quiet stretch, quiet does not mean forgotten. Spring never asks winter whether it may come. It simply comes, and your spring will come too. There are things you must leave at the boundary. Old versions of yourself are among them. A serpent leaves behind skin that no longer fits, not because it is ashamed, but because it has grown beyond that skin. You are allowed to leave old habits, old fears, and old names you accepted even though I never gave them to you. Letting them go is not loss. It is growth creating room for itself. Some relationships may also need to be released. Certain people belong to a season, and sometimes their role in your story ends, naturally without anyone becoming the villain. Honor what those relationships taught you. Let them go without guilt. Other relationships that became distant may now be ready for repair, and it may not be too late to reach out. Ask me to show you which is which. Not every door behind you that opens should be entered again, and not every closed door must remain closed forever. Leave comparison behind at the border too. It has no place in the new land. Looking sideways at somebody else's harvest convinced you that something was wrong with your own field, but another person's field was never the measure of yours. Look toward the stars. Each burns from its own place and distance. None becomes less bright because another shines nearby. There is room in my sky for every light I have started. That includes yours, especially in the place where I put it. And intentionally carry joy with you across the border. Joy is not something unnecessary. Before everything is repaired, joy is provision for the journey. You may laugh even while certain places are still healing. You may celebrate small blessings while large questions remain unanswered. A child can laugh in the morning and face a difficult lesson later without seeing any contradiction. Learn that freedom again. The joy of the Lord is not something you receive after your strength succeeds. It is your strength. Protect your peace while you cross, because peace helps you hear my voice. Every day, make space to step away from the world's noise and become quiet. Not because you are trying to perform spirituality, but because you are simply spending time with me. The world can offer thousands of distractions, yet none can provide what your soul actually needs. Real peace, true joy, and clear direction come from one source. You already know where I can be found. Those who search for me with their whole heart will find me. Inside that quiet, I will make you steady. When you become weak, lean into me and feel the ground remain beneath you. When you feel unsure, listen, and the next step will become clear. I never reveal every step at the same time, but I always reveal enough. A lamp for your feet lights the place where your next step belongs, and that has always been enough for anyone trusting the one holding the lamp. There is one more thing you need to know about crossing. Persistence matters. Keep asking. Continue seeking. Keep knocking. A child can knock at a door without knowing exactly when it will open, yet keeps knocking because deep within, the child believes someone is inside. I am inside. I have always been here. Every knock reached my ears, and even now the door is beginning to move. The river teaches the same truth. Water feels soft while stone is hard, yet a river can carve through a canyon. It does not happen because water uses greater force. It happens because the river continues. Your quiet decision not to quit, year after year, has been shaping a path into your future that nothing can now easily move. You did not see the shaping, but it was happening, so cross and do not turn around. Leave behind what has ended. Carry peace and joy. Continue knocking until the door opens. The old territory has no claim over you anymore, and the new ground has never been closer. Before I seal these words over you, I want to speak about rest, because you will need rest in the new land. You have treated rest like payment, something you receive only when every task is completed. But while walking with me, there is always something that could still be done. So you have rarely allowed yourself to rest fully. That changes now. Rest was never a reward. It was provision I gave before you ever asked. True rest is not simply putting your body into bed. It is when your mind stops preparing for danger. It is the part of you that has been constantly watching finally stepping away, because it trusts the one who remains awake. Come to me, all who are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. That invitation has remained open throughout your life. Enter it. Learn also to protect what I am bringing back to life. You are allowed to say no to things that empty you, even worthwhile things and even things other people expect. A well that is never given time to fill again eventually helps nobody, regardless of how generous it wants to be. Boundaries are not selfish. They are wise care for a life I am restoring. Allow others to pour into you for a season, instead of always being the one pouring out. Be patient with the healing happening inside you too. It may not come in one great moment. Sometimes it arrives through small and quiet moments. One deep breath here, one truthful conversation there. One morning when you finally forgive yourself for something you have held against your own heart for too many years. And understand something about broken places. When a broken bone is placed correctly, and allowed enough time, it can become strongest around the place where it once broke. What broke you does not have the right to define you. Under my care, that wounded place can become one of the strongest parts of you. If there are dreams you left behind many years ago, return and look at them again. Life became busy, responsibilities grew, and somewhere along the road you decided your opportunity had passed. It has not. Dreams I planted do not simply expire. They wait like seeds stored safely, holding life inside until the sower comes back. Many people have started their greatest work in later chapters after wrong turns and delays that eventually proved to be training. Your path is not damaged simply because it took longer than you expected. It is simply your path. Do not become surprised if honesty feels strange at first, almost like speaking a language you once knew but stopped using. Practice it slowly with the trustworthy people I place around you. Say one honest thing about what you are struggling with. Then notice how its weight changes when another person shares it with you. What remains alone in darkness often becomes heavier. What is carried together in the light becomes lighter, and sometimes the sharing itself begins the healing. And remember the evidence already inside your story. You survived every difficult day that has ever come against you. Every heartbreak, every disappointment. Every moment you were convinced you could not continue, somehow you continued. That endurance grew inside you one difficult day at a time. And it remains part of you now. Whatever tomorrow contains, you will meet it as someone carrying proof. Now, my child, rise on the inside because the time has come to seal this movement. I have spoken my part. Heaven waits for your agreement. Speak these words with me aloud if possible, or whisper them if that is all you can do. Your voice places your agreement into the record. Say this: Father, I receive the 7 movements you have declared over my life. I am leaving scarcity and I will live in abundance. I am leaving rejection and I will live in acceptance. I am leaving confusion and I will live in clarity. I am leaving sickness and I will live in health. I am leaving isolation and I will live in connection. I am leaving hiddenness and I will enter the light you prepared. I am leaving delay and I will walk into my destiny. Say this too. I will not return. I will not rebuild what you have removed. I will not respond when the old life calls for me. Where I have lived is not where I am going. Thank you, Father, for refusing to leave me where you found me. I am moving from this moment forward in your name. Amen. It has been recorded. The agreement is sealed, and what is sealed in heaven will begin unfolding upon the earth. You did not accidentally arrive at this moment. I appointed it, and I appointed you to hear every part of this message before the day was complete. So let me tell you how your days will begin to look. You will wake with purpose where dread once met you. Not every morning immediately, not everything at once, but more often, like daylight slowly becoming stronger toward noon. You will notice yourself hoping and no longer feel foolish because of it. You will give from fullness instead of scraping from shortage. You will become known instead of merely noticed. And one day soon, you will look across your life and realize you hardly recognize the person who once lived in that old territory. You will thank me, and I will celebrate beside you. When blessings arrive, and they are coming, share what you receive. Feed those who are hungry, comfort people who are grieving, and refresh tired people with the same kindness that once refreshed you. Generosity keeps blessing alive. When held too tightly, blessing becomes still. When passed forward, it multiplies while moving and often returns carrying more than when it left. And remain close to me. Not because you fear I might leave, because I will never abandon or forsake you. Remain close because nearness itself is the purpose. The movements, the abundance, the healing, and the destiny are all supporting one greater treasure. And the treasure is this: you walking beside me without shame and without fear, exactly as it was always meant to be. Now allow these final words to rest over you like gentle evening light. You are loved beyond measure, by decision rather than changing emotion. You are held through every storm, guided through every unknown place, and never, even for one moment, forgotten. The greatest part of your story has not happened yet. I know because I am writing it, and my endings do not disappoint. Go forward now in peace. Continue in faith. When strong winds rise, remember the tree beside the river. When the soil beneath you feels unfamiliar, remember whose hands planted you there. And when you finally stand fully inside the place I prepared, remember this day, the day you heard these words, believed them, and the movement of your life began. You are no longer who you were. You are no longer where you were. The old soil has no claim over you. The new land is already beneath your feet. Welcome to abundance. Welcome to acceptance. Welcome to clarity and health, to connection and light. Welcome into your destiny. Welcome home, my beloved child. Declare, I receive it all, and allow your amen to rise. If you believe this word was sent for you today, we run on viewer support only. For exclusive member-only content, scan the QR or see the pinned comment. God bless you.